You know that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch. But you'll find that nowadays I've mended all my ways. Seen the light, made a switch. True? Yes. Hello everyone, this is Gene from NYC again, and I'm back with another video. As always, I'd like to welcome subscribers, whether you've been here since the beginning or whether you're new. I hope that you continue to enjoy the content. So let me get to the content. This video I should say, is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to talk about Disney, right? I'm a big fan of the Disney films from the 1990s. My favorite film is Beauty and the Beast. So I do have a bit of an emotional investment in the remakes. In fact, a few years ago, was it 2017, I saw the Beauty and the Beast live-action remake, and I was not happy with it. I felt that there was a lot of miscasting, in particular with the lead role of Belle. I have nothing against Emma Watson personally. I haven't seen enough of her films to ascertain whether or not she's a good actress, but I felt she was poorly miscast for that role, and I did not like the characterization of Belle in that film. I feel, and 2 years later I still feel, that it misses the point of the character. The reason I bring this up is because this video is actually about a female character being casted for a Disney remake, in particular the Little Mermaid. I was on the net last night and I happened to come across a video from, Beyond the Trailer? Grace, I forget her last name, but a blonde lady named Grace, she's the content creator for the channel. And she was talking about how Melissa McCarthy may be tapped to play the role of Ursula for the live-action version of The Little Mermaid. I have some concerns about this. Now, I don't have anything against Melissa McCarthy as an actress. I've seen a little bit of her work. I'm not particularly impressed, but I have nothing against her as a person or as an actress. Though from what I've seen, she like Rebel Wilson, tends to get these grossly comedic roles that seem to be almost exclusively for fat people, right? It involves vomiting and jokes and farts and crass humor, and I really dislike that type of thing. To me, that type of humor, and it's often, especially in film, associated with the heavy-set character. You have even male actors like, say, John Candy, who has since passed away. May he rest in peace. But this seems to be a role or a character type, archetype that is associated with heavy-set actors and actresses. And for me, being a heavy person, I find it, to be honest, very insulting. And I think it really enforces negative stereotypes about heavy-set people, especially regards our cleanliness. But that's neither here nor there. I bring that up because those are the type of roles she tends to get, right? She and Rebel Wilson and other heavy-set actors and actresses. So that's what I pretty much sort of know her for, this sort of, crass bathroom-type humor. Now, I'm not going to say automatically that she can't play the role, right? She could easily make a dramatic turn. I'm not going to automatically put down the idea. I'm just concerned about it because, again, those are the films that she's known for. So I'm wondering if that'll be a factor or an issue in her portrayal of Ursula. So there's that. The second thing is, I'm not quite sure she can portray Ursula's personality. The whole thing about Ursula is that she's supposed to be a temptress in a sense, not necessarily in the, alluring sexual sense, but a temptress in that she's very beguiling and convincing, right? She's supposed to, in a sense, visually be obviously evil, right? Ursula's warned about her by her father, and she's warned about her by Sebastian. But when you actually meet Ursula, right, she doesn't really come across as a threat initially, right? I mean, if you look at the song, her villain song, "Poor Unfortunate Souls," right, it's basically one big sell, right? It's one big pitch. You know, here's why you should do what I'm asking you for, right? I can give you this if you give me that, right? So she's alluring in the same way that a particularly charming car salesman or saleswoman or a con artist is, right? They sort of play on your trusting nature, and they don't necessarily come across as this dangerous person you should fear, even if that's the reputation that they have. So there is this sort of dark, disarming allure about Ursula as a character that I'm not sure Melissa McCarthy can embody. Maybe she can. But I haven't seen anything showing she can, and I don't know of any film role that would demonstrate her ability to play a beguiling, villainous temptress who sort of suckers you in and then stabs you in the back. So I wonder if she can really play that role, right? Again, Ursula's supposed to be darkly, not darkly, but charming in this very dark, sinister manner. She's supposed to be the type of character. It's like, you know, you shouldn't trust her, but you still do anyway, right? She's supposed to be the type of character who makes you act against your own interest, despite your better senses and your better nature. So there's that, right? I'm not quite sure she can embody the character, assuming Disney even keeps Ursula the way she's supposed to be. Because what they've done in their live-action remakes, and I've noticed this especially in Beauty and the Beast, is that they've changed who the female characters are as characters, right? They made Belle very, in my opinion, she lacked charm. She lacked that appealing sweetness and warmth that makes Belle Belle. I've seen clips of Aladdin, and I've seen comments and reviews about the characterization of Jasmine, and it seems, from what I can tell, that, again, Disney has sort of missed the point of the character of Jasmine, in that she was already very strong-willed and rebellious, and she was trying to, in a sense, live life on her own terms, or at least her love life on her own terms. So now this film version of her is completely different than the original animated version of her from 1992, and that's putting some older fans off. So given that, I'm not even sure Disney's going to let Ursula be Ursula. If they are going to let her be this charming villainess who takes advantage of a young girl's heartbreak. Because remember, Ariel goes to see Ursula right after her father destroys the grotto in a fit of rage. So I'm not quite sure they are going to allow Ursula to be this, beguiling presence. Anyway, that, suckers a young girl into making this, frankly, a very stupid deal. Right? The Disney model at the moment seems to be to make the female heroine characters not quite so charming and likable anymore, and to make the villainesses more sympathetic. Of course, city noises. Recording on a hot summer day in New York City, the joys of it. Go on, it's Sunday, and you're ruining my recording. Go on. Thank you. Quiet again. Anyway, as I was saying, the Disney villainesses, these reimaginings of them, seem to be more casting them in the role of sort of tragic anti-villains than the, gleeful villains they were originally shown to be in the original animated films, which, I think Little Mermaid's probably about 30 years old. Didn't it come out in like 1989? So it's around 30 years old now. So the film, it's got a little age on it, but it's not as if, you still can't watch it or find it or anything. So you can easily compare and contrast. Right, so assuming that Disney doesn't do that they don't reimagine Ursula as this tragic anti-villain, I'm not quite sure that Melissa McCarthy can embody that dark charm that Ursula has. So there's that. Then there's the singing, right? The most memorable part of a Disney film are the songs, the song sequences. And the part they always mess up in live action versions, at least that I've seen and I've heard, are the song sequences, right? Poor Unfortunate Souls is not an easy song to sing. There's a lot of ups and downs, there's inflections. I mean, the way Ursula is singing in the beginning, right? You know that in the past I've been a nasty. It's a very sort of soft, sweet, I wouldn't say kind, but she's definitely trying to present herself as this reformed villain, right? I used to be bad, but now I'm good. So she's in this very softer tones, right? Then later on, when she's actually really pushing for Ariel to take the offer, she's like, the men up there don't like a lot of blather. How's the line go? They think a girl who gossips is a bore. And that whole thing, like, she gets louder, her language becomes a lot more brazen, she's a lot more pushy, right? Her entire singing, the singing style and Ursula's demeanor change entirely. The beginning of the song and the middle to end of it are completely different. And it takes a really good, experienced singer to embody both sides. Because you've also got to act. You can't just, hit the notes properly. That's fine, but you still need to add personality to the song. You still need to actually act. So you need someone who can act and sing at the same time. That's why Disney, especially back in the 1990s, used to get Broadway singers to do these roles, right? For example, Beauty and the Beast. The voice of Belle is Paige O'Hara. She is a long time, she's a long time Broadway actress. I think Pat Carroll, who voices Ursula, who voices and sings for Ursula, she had a history in the theater, right? Theater actors and actresses, when it comes, especially to the singing roles, are, in my opinion, the ones best suited for it because they understand what it is to sing and act at the same time, to project. Because what are Disney films, at least of this type, the Disney princess films are, ultimately? They are animated musicals. Where do you find musicals? In the theater. Right? So they used to get theater actors and theater actresses to do these roles. So there's that. I'm really concerned about the singing because also you need a certain voice type to play Ursula. Right? Pat Carroll is a contralto. Right? If you're not familiar with singing, and singing is just very complex. I mean, I have a little bit of knowledge of it because my mother used to sing a lot, and she tried to pursue a singing career at one point in her life. Then she had kids. But given that I love music and everything, right, I do try to study up a little bit on different types of voices. And again, a lot of the categories, right, are very subjective, right? But the role of Ursula, the role usually of villainesses in general, when it comes to singing or speaking voices to the voice type, usually falls to contraltos. And contralto as a voice type, it's also known as alto, contralto, pretty much the same thing, right? It's for a woman, it's a very deep, husky voice, right? You're constantly speaking in your chest voice, in the lower portion of your voice. And to play that role, you need to be able to speak in that deep voice, and be able to sing in that deep voice. Let me give you some examples of well-known contraltos if you're wondering what that voice sounds like, right? Some well-known contraltos in the music industry are Annie Lennox, are Shirley Manson. She's a contralto. Cher is a contralto. If you're familiar with Disney and their singers, again, Pat Carroll, who voices Ursula and sings for her, is a contralto. I think her name escapes me, but the woman, Donna Murphy. She played Mother Gothel, right, in Tangled. She's a contralto. If you're familiar with video games, two of the most famous contralto voices in video games are Jennifer Hale when she voices Fem Shep, right, the female Commander Shepard, and what's her name? Her name escapes me at the moment. Lanny, something like that. Her name, I apologize. Her name escapes me at the moment. But the woman who voices Ivy in the Soul Calibur games, right? She's a contralto. I think she also voiced the female Krogan in Mass Effect 3, the female Krogan Eve. So she's a contralto. Another well-known alto/contralto known in the voice acting world is Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. I believe she's an alto contralto. And she's best known as the voice of Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, right? So these very deep, type voices, right? They all sound different, but the one thing they share is being deep and singing in that type of style. And believe me, I try because I listen to rock and roll, and my voice is on the deeper side. Is not easy. So I wonder and I worry for the singing portion. I've never heard Melissa McCarthy sing, but I wonder if she has the voice, and I wonder if she has the talent for it, right? Maybe they could rearrange the song in some way, right, to help her if she doesn't quite have the voice for it. But again, this is a Disney film. This is the villain song of the film. It's an iconic track, not just for The Little Mermaid, but for Disney itself. You have got to get this right. And given the poor singing, really, that I heard from most of the actors and actresses in the Beauty and the Beast remake, I really don't have a lot of hope in the singing department, which is bad because, again, this is Disney. Disney is known for its singers. It's known for its musical numbers. It's an animated musical. You have to get the music right. But anyway, those are my main concerns. I also am concerned about why Melissa McCarthy, and I have to admit, I think, and I'm not trying to be mean or judgmental of her, but I do think she's chosen because she's a well-known heavy-set actress. And again, I think that the casting, again, it's not confirmed she will play the role. It's just a rumor that she's up for it or that she's being considered for it. But I think that if the rumor's true, I think really that it's very reductive to look at her just because she's heavy set. I understand being heavy set is a necessity, right? I get that. But you could also choose a thin person and then just CGI the Ursula body, right, or whatnot, excuse me, onto them. Same thing they did for Will Smith, right? He certainly doesn't have the build of the genie. He doesn't have the build of Robin Williams. They didn't even try to do that. They made him, at least his genie form, right, very muscular, right? They went with the more traditional muscular depiction of a jinn, right, of a genie. So if they can do that for Will Smith, they can do that for someone else. What I want, especially since Ursula is not human, for crying out loud, her skin's like a pale purple. What I want is the best person, or even persons, right? Someone could do the acting and the regular voice work, and someone could do the singing. What I want is the best person or persons cast for the role, because this role is so important to the film. You need a good villainess. You have to get Ursula right. And in my opinion, to even consider a heavy-set person, primarily because they're heavy-set and because they're a well-known name, to me, that's reductive and that's insulting, if that is what Disney is doing. Right? I'm not part of the selection process, so all I can do is opine from the outside. But if that's the reason why, and I have to admit, I do feel that is at least partially the reason why, I can't get behind that. I cannot get behind casting somebody just because they're fat. That should be the last thing you are worrying about, especially when Ursula's not even human. Don't cast a fat girl to play the role of a fat sea witch. Cast the best actress for the role. If you can't find someone, or rather, if the actress that you cast can't sing, cast the best singer for the role. Cast the best woman for the role, or women if you have to cast for the voice separately. The best. Not the one who has the body type, but the best person or persons for the job. Now, all that being said, of the names aside from Melissa McCarthy that I've heard floated around that I thought could actually really do the role are mainly two. Queen Latifah, because she has personality and she can sing. But the one I'm really leaning toward, and the one I would choose, if I had a say in the matter, is Jennifer Hudson. And I'll tell you why. Jennifer Hudson has experience acting on Broadway. Jennifer Hudson has experience acting in mainstream films. Jennifer Hudson, while not a contralto in the voice, right, has this amazing singing voice, this big, powerful voice, and you need a big, powerful voice to hit those notes like ba da 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 da, right? That it's just loud, right? It's this very, very big, loud, brassy song, especially later on when Ursula's really trying to pressure Ariel to make this choice. And Jennifer Hudson has that type of big, powerful voice. And again, while she's not a contralto, she does have the singing talent, so they could probably work the song around her actual voice, right, and make it work. She, for me, would be the best choice overall. We know she can act. She can act in two different would genres be the right? I don't think the genre is the right term. Maybe mediums or styles. I don't know. But we know she can do Broadway. We know she can do film. We know she can sing. If I had to choose someone, I would choose her. She's the woman I would go with. Now, I'm not saying that MacCarthy is automatically a bad choice, but again, I have my concerns, and for me, she's probably the last person or next to last person I would choose, because I don't see anything in her work that would lead me to think, yeah, she could play this role. In fact, her work, or at least what I've seen of it, makes me think the total opposite. So anyway, that's the video. I wouldn't choose Melissa McCarthy, and I don't say that to be mean or to be insulting. Again, I've got nothing against her as a person or as an actress. I just really am concerned about whether or not she's fit for the role, and from what I know of her, I don't think she is. So I would not choose her if I had a choice. I would choose Jennifer Hudson. But who knows? Maybe she'll get the role. Maybe she'll smash it out of the park and prove me wrong. If she does get the role, I hope that's exactly what she does. Prove me wrong. I don't like saying bad or critical things about people. Prove me wrong. So anyway, that's the video. I hope you all have a good day, have a good work week. Be safe, be happy, have fun. If it's summer where you are, enjoy the summer. Have a good day, everybody. Bye. But they dote and swoot and fawn over a lady who's withdrawn. It's she who holds her tongue who gets a man. Come on, you poor unfortunate soul. Go ahead, make your choice. I'm a very busy woman and I haven't got all day. It won't cost much, just your voice.